Welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Lens. Yes, Scott and I are wearing the same clothes in this episode because we recorded 2 episodes on one night. So if you want to come at us, yes, we do wash ourselves and our wives make sure we do that because we are Neanderthals and men who drink bourbon. And if you're not a man listening to this, make sure your man is washing himself. That's the most important thing that you will learn on this podcast today. But we all know that everyone loves proof right now. But what if we told you that proof doesn't equal value? Yes, in this episode, we're going to talk about the best bourbons under 100 proof and why you should be drinking them. So sit back and buckle into the latest episode of the Bourbon Lens. Scott, it's time for us to take center stage, to show the spotlight, and to tell everyone that proof does not equal value. What do you feel when I tell you that statement?
I mean, it's something that I feel like I've known for a long time, but a lot of people think you've got to have high proof to be worth a damn. You think it's just not true. I mean, if a whiskey is blended well, its proof can be anywhere, obviously over 80, but 80 proof is probably, is obviously the minimum, but I don't think like if somebody's expertly blending it, I don't think they're just going to be like, here you go. Now, if we're talking about like a bottom shelfer, sorry, Jim Beam white label. Sorry, JTS Brown non-bonded. Why anybody would want to drink that, I have no idea. But Old Crow or whatever, it's like, as long as we're not talking about that, you can find your value other places through flavor or age or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think there's a lot of opportunity under 100 proof. And I think that if curated the right way, a blind flight with under even 90 proof bourbons can win a blind. And I'm here to shamelessly say I doubted that for a long time. And there's one brand in particular that we're going to hit on here in a minute that I think might have one of the best bourbons that no one talks about, but is constantly shit on because of the proof point. So we'll get to that in a second. But the other thing is about this is I think the microcosm of the bourbon influencer, right? So let's spend some time there. The microcosm of the bourbon influencer is influenced by themselves. Let's just take Coy Hill to be a extreme circumstance, right? Jack Daniels came out with these 140 proof barrels. The word hazmat became very popular when that bottle was released. There was some light whiskeys that went up to that level and so on and so forth. But that release, I think about 3 years ago, was the kind of the line in the sand, right? And people went, I want 140 proof, 135 proof plus bourbons. What have you thought about this fad? Because Owen Martin from Angels Envy and I were chatting right before Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And he said, this is a really recent thing. Most people who grew up drinking over the last 50, 60 years, i.e. Jimmy Russell, they wouldn't drink much higher than 100 proof. They might drink straight from the barrel just to get a taste and figure out how they're going to blend these barrels. But this is a relatively new phenomenon, drinking bourbon in their unadulterated fashion, as a lot of people like to call it, uncut, unfiltered at God knows what proof.
Yeah, it's just like it's an arms race, right? It felt like when people couldn't put out 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20-year bourbon, they had to find another way to put the measuring stick out there and say, this is where you're getting the best bourbon. And it was just like, hey, check out this 136 proof monster.
Yeah.
141 proof monster of a whiskey. I've tasted a lot of whiskey from barrels. It's hard to drink a lot of.
Amen.
And this is not, it's not like, oh, it'll put hair on your chest. It doesn't matter. Why? Like, who are we trying to prove ourselves to that we can sit there and drink 140 proof whiskey? Because I know my throat cannot drink much of it. It literally numbs you.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I can't come home to my wife and say, you know what I did today, babe? I was able to drink 150 proof bourbon. And she'll be like, who cares? Like, nothing is going to, you know, get her excited about me drinking 150 proof bourbon. I'm not going to get excited about drinking 150 proof bourbon, in all honesty. But you know what I am going to get excited about is something that I can have multiple pours of in a night. Can I do multiple things with it? And the other thing is, and I think about this because Chase Hazelbaker, obviously a lot of people know him from Nulu. He's got the Hazelbaker Bonded, but he's got the New Louisville Whiskey Company. I think I got that right. And he's got a hazmat and he's got literally the nuclear symbol on it. And that's what I think of when I think of bourbons over 135, 140 proof is it is nuclear. I feel like nuclear waste is going to come out of me, whether it's up or down, depending on what that looks like. Sorry for the vulgar viewpoint there, but I feel like people will know that. And I really don't want to have my urine be like end up in like a flammable container because that's what I feel like is going to happen.
Yeah. So it's funny because I'm like taking a sip of water and it's
Liquid death.
Liquid death. That's what I feel like 140 proof whiskey is. Yeah, you need a little bit of water for it.
Yeah.
It's just not. I'm sorry, it's just not enjoyable most of the time.
Yeah. And, a lot of people say, well, you can cut it yourself. That's great. I'm not a whiskey blender. Tried it, failed miserably multiple times. My goal in life is to maybe one day be good at that. I can tell you what I like, what I don't like. I can get flavor profiles. I feel like I'm a proficient taster, but blending whiskey is an art. And we have been cutting whiskey with water for many, many decades and millennia, probably at this point, thanks to our Scottish and Irish friends, and they can have the war, which one was first. I'm out of that one.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like you can proof it yourself within reason, right? Like you can, like I've got this little
Water droplet.
pipette, like I can drop drops in it, but I don't know what proof that makes. Like I know, who do we have on the podcast? Was it Caitlin from? Yeah, Caitlin from. Shit, can't think of the name of it, but she gave us like some formula about how to. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like I put a couple drops in it, I taste it, it opens up. Like, but I couldn't recreate that tomorrow. I'm like, oh yeah, an ounce of whiskey, because we're not measuring when we're pouring in our Glens. Like, so I don't know. I like to know what the whiskey might be, when it comes out of the bottle, but if it's 136, I'm going in with skepticism.
Yeah.
And a little bit of initial hesitation.
And a little regret on how your heart
Immediate regret. Immediate. It's like going on, like getting hot wings at a restaurant and you're like going down the list.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like land in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the guy that does the top. Have never done it. Won't do it. There's no point.
No, you're not getting 3 Mile Island from Hooters.
Yeah, it's not atomic or nuclear or habanero or ghost pepper. Like, oh.
What I will say in my infinite defense is Hooters open on Thanksgiving. Shout out to Hooters. And they have great wings. I could care less what those women look like in there. Happily married. I really do not care. They have actually pretty good fried food. I'm not going to lie. I do enjoy the fried food at Hooters. And a bucket full of wings sound delightful when I'm drinking whiskey.
Bucket full of wings and a bucket of beer.
Dude, amazing. Also, speaking of wings, if you don't know this, hot take, the hot wings and wedges from KFC are phenomenal. If you're looking for that, I kind of want to do just a random, go get me some Indies wings and wedges, spicy, of course, and then KFC wings and wedges, and see who reigns supreme. Give them to me blind and let's see what happens. My indigestion is going to be miserable afterwards, but it's going to be okay because I will have enjoyed one of my favorite foods groups together, wings and wedges.
Indies chicken. Yeah, that's hard to beat.
It is. If you've come to Louisville and you think you know Louisville or you're an insider, you haven't done Louisville until you've gone to Indies on Indian Trail and got you some spicy wings and wedges and a roll and fed some money through the plexiglass turnstile that they got going on.
I don't think I've been to the one on Indian Trail, but I've been to the one downtown and then
Broadway,
on 3rd.
Yep. man.
And I guess what, Fern Valley?
Yeah, there's one in Fern Valley, but the
None of them are
OGs.
bad. They're all
Oh,
good.
they're all good. I just, Indian Trail is kind of like the one that we went to growing up. And then I had a teammate in high school. I was a freshman, he was a senior. Teammates loose. I was on the freshman team. He was on the varsity team. He worked at Indies, and he tried to go in and then rob the Indies by reaching around the plexiglass and grabbing the cash register. Probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but
Not a good
everybody
idea.
makes stupid decisions.
Not a good idea.
No, not at all. Off topic though, because if you're in Louisville, just go to Indies. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Life will be good. They'll be happy that you're there because they love to make
Goes well
chicken,
with bourbon.
it goes. What food doesn't go well with bourbon? I'm sure there's something. Just haven't found it yet. Okay, so controversial hot take. So we've talked about why people are this way. The hot take of the night is that I believe that Basil Hayden 10-year deserves to be in a bourbon list that will beat most bourbons. And I truly believe that. I think Basil Hayden 10, 80 proof. Yes, woohoo. Sorry, you're going to be mad. Jake, there's no good bourbon at 80 proof. Some of the best world whiskeys are at 80 proof, so shut up, first and foremost. Secondly, if I curated a blind for you, I think I could put Basil Hayden in on the blind at the right time, and I think it could win that blind. And I could pick some really, really, really good bourbons to match that with. But quit hating on Basil Hayden, especially Basil Hayden 10, because I think it is really, really good. I think it's at a pretty good price point, under $100. Yeah, that's my controversial take for this episode. But Basil Hayden 10 is one that people need to pay attention to and drink.
I used to call it my wedding whiskey. Like, you want to buy a bottle, give it to the groom or the groomsman, like before a wedding. It's pretty responsible, right? So it's
It
a
is.
lower proof, but a nice age. It's got it's a premium pour. So it's not like you're just drinking a bunch of junk whiskey. Yeah, it's like a wedding, and then you can drink it throughout the day. Like, you don't have to go hard and heavy with 140 whiskey, and then you don't make it to the ceremony.
I heard a story about KBF, how one of the grooms may have got up to the altar and said, "I'm drunk." So don't be doing that. If you are a Bourbon Lens listener and drinking prior to hand, don't be drunk, and don't tell your bride that either. Bad idea. I'm looking at you, someone in Courtney. Our number one supporter is Courtney from Picks and Pours. She wears the Bourbon Lens swag all over the country, and just shout out to Courtney Stivers. She is an amazing woman and one of our new Patreon members. So shout out to Courtney. Love her and her husband, and glad they're part of the bourbon community.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Scott. So we all know that we are not proof whores, as our friend Ryan, who is one of our other Patreon members, who is self-proclaimed proof whore. Where would you go, first off, after my controversial hot take that Basil Hayden 10 is a phenomenal bourbon that most people should drink, even though they should not?
Yeah, so it's funny that we both start with 10-year bourbons, but I think the true value is Bulleit 10-year.
Mm.
This bottle is one that appears on shelves fairly regularly. The last time I bought it, I think I bought it on clearance at Kroger. Clearance whiskey. Hell yeah, I'll do that.
There it is.
Especially when it's like $35. But normally it's $45, $50. 10 years old. I think it's, what's the proof on it? The
Kentucky Straight Bourbon
91
whiskey at 91.2.
Yeah, such an obscure
91.2.
Like, doesn't make sense. Like, why 91.2? But maybe there's a lot of thought that goes into the blending process, and
We can go ask Courtney.
always solid, always like tons of flavor, great age. Doesn't have the best body as, I mean, who could expect a full-bodied whiskey at 80, 90, sub 100 proof, let's say, right? Like what this whole thing is, but it's just good whiskey. And it's source undisclosed. So, it's some Kentucky distillery that might have flowers in its name or something. I don't know, but
What? No, never.
yeah,
Never.
So But good. It's if you find it, grab it. You're not going to be disappointed. That's it. That's it. That's my hot take.
But you also have another 10-year-old bourbon that fits into this category that you said can be coupled together with this, that comes from another heritage distillery.
Yeah, they have the benefit of age, right? And we're probably going to see a lot more of this in the next year or two. Russell's 10. I think it's 90 proof.
Yep.
10-year wild turkey. Yes, it's not 101 proof wild turkey like people are probably used to, but still a lot of characteristics of wild turkey that carry through. You're not going to go wrong with it. Again, you found it for 35 to 45 bucks. Damn. How do you beat that?
You don't. You just you tip your cap and you say, thank you very much. And on to the next one. And that leads me to my stave finished whiskey that goes in this category. That's Maker's Mark 46. You could go standard Makers, great wheated bourbon, the original wheated bourbon probably, even though Weller claims that. Maker's 46 is a great flavor profile. It's under 95 proof. It's at 94. It's 47%. I think it brings a lot of roundness. It did, extend the Maker's portfolio for the first time with the Samuels family. I think the Maker's 46 is a really good pour. I think it's fun. If you are a cast strength person, you could go Maker's Mark 46, but this is about under 100 proof. Maker's Mark 46 is the one from the Maker's family that I think most people should pay attention to.
Yeah, and like as compared to, what do they call it? Standard Makers or
Standard Makers, yeah.
What do they call it? They call
it something.
Whatever. Classic.
Maker's
Mark Classic. If you're trying to expose somebody to different types of whiskey and you said like stave finished, like if they don't know what wood does to whiskey, great way to show them.
Mm-hmm.
Show them, the wood obviously adds color and character, but like in the French oak, it adds like that perfumey characteristic too. So
embody.
Yeah. So yeah, just showing people like what the elements of whiskey are outside of price.
Yeah.
It's not expensive. It's not super aged. It's not super exclusive, but you can say like this was intentional. Like they made a whiskey, they finished it with French oak staves. This is the blend. So you can really like teach people about whiskey with that too.
Yeah, and I think it just shows the innovations that heritage distilleries will do. So you're not just caught on Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey all the time. You can do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Which leads me to, what is your next under 100 proof bourbon that you would highlight?
So it wouldn't be a list of mine without H.H. Reg.
Of course.
Heaven Hill Regular, the standard bourbon mash bill. I've always liked the Evan Williams single barrel vintages. So about a year or two ago, they said they were going to be only Kentucky, but I don't think that's true. I think that some other states are still getting it. But if you come to Kentucky, you're going to find it. Black wax, pretty standard looking bottle, but they're vintage dated bottles. So it's vintage of when it was barreled, and then on the back it shows when it was bottled, so you know exactly how old it is. But they're 86.6 proof. Again, most obscure random proof, who knows, but can't go really wrong with those. They used to be like 25, 30 bucks. Now they're a little bit more, probably about 40, 45, but they're typically about 8 years old.
Yeah.
So you're getting 8-year whiskey from a major distillery. We'll probably see a lot more of these. They'll probably go back to multiple states, just due to production over the past couple of years. But yeah, Evan Williams single barrel vintage, I think it's the full name. I don't really know, but the black dipped wax bottles.
Black dip wax, yes. And I'm going to tease an upcoming podcast with my last one here, and that is Minden Mill. Right, I'm going to go outside of Kentucky for this one, but they have a full lineup of bourbon, rye, and American single malt, all 100 proof. Great value, full of flavor. This podcast, I'm telling you, is going to be awesome. So make sure you listen to it. If you don't know about Minden Mill, you have severely failed at life at this point, because it is a whiskey brand that you need to be paying attention to, all estate grown. They're working. And the reason why I talk about this now is because they are attached to the James Beebe Institute at the University of Kentucky. They're working with them on the alliance that they've created with all their own, grain and making all that things come to life. So the bourbon, the rye are great, but that American single malt is chef's kiss. I think they're doing it right. A whole lineup of bourbons and whiskeys under 100 proof, I think is great, and people need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, 94 proof.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really good proof point. 94. Also 94 proof Elijah Craig, and there's a reason why Elijah Craig is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
true.
honorary mention Elijah Craig, whether it's toasted or regular, you'll enjoy.
Good point. With the stave or the barrel finished.
Yeah. But there is the most admired whiskey that I'm going to let you talk about here at the very end of this segment, because we've talked about them a lot, but I think you hit on this one really well. So I'll let you talk about the most admired whiskey in the world here in 2025.
Yeah, so they get a lot of awards, tons of awards, but most admired whiskey company is probably the one that they tout the most, which makes a lot of sense. But Michter's, it's basically on every shelf, right? Like it's admittedly smaller brand, but it seems like it's everywhere. And
had some of the longest lines at KBF.
I mean, people mispronounce it all the time, but whatever. But their core whiskey lineup is like 90.4, I think is the typical. Again, we're going for weird proofs, but they've got their bourbon, they've got their American whiskey, they got their sour mash, priced right, 40, 50, 60 bucks. Then they've got their limited release stuff, the 10-year, which I think is what you were just showing off. But they're lower proof. They don't do.
Also an odd proof, 94.4.
90.4, right?
No, well, this one is 94.4.
Okay.
This one in particular.
Yeah. So they're all over the place, but they do cask strength, but they're harder to find.
And Kentucky only.
But yeah, I mean, you see Michter's on the shelf. I don't think you're going to go wrong. And they're basically all sub 95 proof.
And they're all typically sub $50 until you get into their age-dated stuff.
And the rye is always single barrel, which is so unique.
That might be one of the most underplayed rye whiskeys in the market. I think just the flavor profile that they've created with their rye whiskey is really second to none. Any honoraries that you want to throw out in this one? I think there are probably a few unsung heroes here, especially with the bonded. I know we said under 100, but there's a lot of great bonded products out there. One I would throw out is the Benchmark Bonded. If you are a guy that likes proof, I think the Benchmark Bonded will give you a little bit of heat that you weren't expecting. I think that one's a great honorary one. That whole Benchmark lineup, besides the full proof, whether it's single barrel, bottled and bond, or high floor, or whatever, high rick house. There's a lot of good value there under 100 proof for the Benchmark product.
Just had to look it up. It's top floor.
Top floor.
And it's 86 proof.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other probably one more of a blender, but
it's Buffalo Trace. Like, we didn't talk about that one, but Buffalo Trace is 94 proof, I think, or 94 proof. Buffalo Trace is a really good product. People don't talk about that because everyone focuses on Taylor or Eagle Rare. Don't sleep on a good just Buffalo Trace bottle. And even you can get a pick. The Buffalo Trace picks are pretty solid as well.
Yeah, hard to beat them.
Yeah. So
my honorable mention, and it wouldn't be a list without it, but Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
It's a classic here on the Bourbon Lens.
90.4 proof. Again, weird proof. Yep. We'll just go with the title of this episode is Weird Proof Bourbons Less Than 100. But yeah, lots of numbers, but it's 90 proof. It's like it's the same exact proof as most every standard Woodford release, but it's double oaked. It's a wintertime whiskey for me. Gift whiskey. Yeah, it's $50. Yeah, going back to our last podcast, under $50. That's a good play.
Yeah, it's a great play. And again, there's many more. So let us know in the comments, like and subscribe here on YouTube or anywhere else that you get the Bourbon Lens podcast. We want to know what you think about proof. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it here to stay? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. We'd be great to have any more people join our community. And we will catch you all next time on the Bourbon Lens. Cheers.
Cheers.